Today I'm going to show you another classic, and this is called Jack and the Beanstalk. This story was made a long time ago, but this specific version of the story is retold by someone named Ottolenghi. So someone named Carol is the one who wrote this specific story that we're going to read. And it's illustrated. The pictures are drawn by someone named Guy Porfirio. Once upon a time, when giants still stomped the land, a widow lived with her son, Jack. The widow was too sick to work, and one day they ran out of money. "Son," Jack's mother said, "I am too weak to take the cow to town. You must go and sell her." So a widow means like that their partner passed away. So she is living here all by herself with her son. And now they don't have any money, right? And so she just told Jack that he needs to take the cow to town so that they can get some money for the cow. Now, Jack was brave and kind-hearted, but he didn't always use his head. So his mother told him to think carefully before selling the cow. Jack promised he would. He was halfway to town when a man stopped him. "Jack," said the man, "I'll give you 5 magic beans for your cow." Jack thought, how could this stranger know my name? And how could he know that I'm selling the cow? He must have magic powers. Then the beans could be magic too. So he traded the cow for beans and went home very pleased with the deal. So Jack thinks he made a really good deal just now. Do you think that his mom's going to think it's a good deal or not a good deal? His mother was not pleased. "You were tricked, silly boy," she cried. "There are no such things as magic beans." Angrily, she threw the beans out the window. "Now we have no cow and no money," she said. "What shall we do?" The next morning, something tickled Jack's nose and woke him up. Surprised, Jack saw that a huge leaf had poked in his window. He pushed it away and peeked outside. A thick beanstalk stretched up, its top hidden by the clouds. "They were magic beans," he whispered. Without waking his mother, Jack started climbing the beanstalk. His arms and legs began to ache, but he forgot about them when he saw the castle. Jack knocked on the castle door. A giant woman opened it. "Who's there?" she asked, peering around. "I don't see well, so speak up." Jack wasn't sure that he wanted her to see him, but he was very hungry. "I'm down here," he said. "Do you have any work I can do for food?" The giantess picked up Jack by his collar and plopped him on a huge stone floor. "Start scrubbing," she ordered. Thud, thud, thud. "Arg," said the woman. "It's my husband. Hide in the cupboard so he doesn't eat you. Scrub the floor later." Now he's hiding in the cupboard, hiding away from the husband. The giant came in, took one sniff, and said, "Fee, fi, fo, fum. I smell the blood of an Englishman. Be he alive or be he dead, I grind his bones to make my bread." He must be a scary giant then. "Don't be silly," his wife said. "You smell breakfast. Eat while it's hot." After breakfast, the giant opened his bag of gold. He began counting the pieces, but fell asleep after 135,091. Just as a little gold would feed Mother and me for a long time, Jack thought. Oh, just a little gold would feed Mother and me for a long time, Jack thought. He snatched a small bag and climbed quickly down the beanstalk. Oh, so he just took some money from the giant. Jack's mother was delighted, but when she heard where Jack had gotten the gold, she hugged him tight. Those giants robbed us of that gold and 2 other treasures, she said. They killed your father. I grabbed you and escaped. Promise that you won't go back for more gold. Jack promised. The next morning, he climbed the beanstalk again. I promised not to go back for gold, the boy thought as he climbed. I didn't say I wouldn't go back for something else. After all, it was ours. Jack banged on the castle door. The giantess squinted her eyes and peered down at him. She can't see very well, right? So she's peering down like this and squinting. Are you the thief who was here yesterday? She demanded. I'm no thief, Jack said. I'm a hard worker, though I expect to be paid for it. The giantess picked up Jack by his collar and plopped him in front of a huge tub of dirty dishes. Start washing, she ordered. Thud, thud, thud. Arr, said the giantess. It's my husband. Hide it in the cupboard so he doesn't eat you. Do the dishes later. The giant came in and took one sniff and said, do you remember? Say it with me if you remember. Fee, fi, fo, fum. I smell the blood of an Englishman. Be he alive? Yeah, interrupted his wife. You smell breakfast. Eat while it's hot. Do you see him? The giant grumbled, but he ate. Then he got a goose from a crate in the corner. He put the goose on the table and roared, Lay! The goose honked twice, then waddled back to its crate. On the table was a golden egg. The giant tossed it up and down like a ball. Then his eyes began to hurt from looking at the shiny gold, so he shut them. As soon as the giant fell asleep, Jack grabbed the goose and quickly slid down the beanstalk. His mother was waiting at the bottom of the beanstalk. She was very angry with Jack. I didn't exactly promise not to go up again, Jack explained. You knew that you weren't supposed to, said his mother. Go to your room. Jack knew that he shouldn't, but the next morning, before his mother woke, he climbed to the castle. Instead of banging on the door, he crawled in a kitchen window where the giantess wasn't looking. The giant's wife hid me in the cupboard, Jack thought. I'll hide somewhere else. He climbed into the wash tub. Soon he heard thud, thud, thud. The giant came in and took one sniff and said, what did he say? Fee, fi, fo, fum, I smell. You certainly do, interrupted his wife. That little thief probably sneaked in again. He always hides in the cupboard. But Jack wasn't there. The giant ate his breakfast, then he got out a golden harp. Play, he roared. The harp sounded like a sparkling stream poured over pebbles. The lady of the harp sang a song with no words. Jack was entranced. The music put the giant to sleep. Jack grabbed the harp, but he almost dropped it when it screamed, Master! Master! So the harp is actually screaming. The giant woke up and thudded after Jack. Jack half scrambled, half slid down the beanstalk. "Mother!" he yelled. "Get the axe!" Jack's mother saw the giant close behind Jack. She grabbed the axe and whacked the beanstalk. "Jump, Jack, jump!" she hollered, and whacked again. Jack jumped to the ground. He snatched the axe and whacked the stalk until it snapped in two. Kaboom! The giant and the beanstalk hit the ground together, and that was the end of the giant. Jack, his mother, the goose, and the harp lived very happily together, except for the time Jack went to town to buy a pig. But that is another story. The end. So, I'm curious, what did you think about this classic? What did you think about the characters, about Jack and about the giants? And one thing that I have that's a challenge for you is sometimes, like we did this for Gossie and the Gosling, and we went and got extra pages and we continued the story and said, what would have happened next in the story? And then we kept writing the story. And I have a challenge for you if you're up for it. I was curious, this Jack and the Beanstalk, if you kept writing and made the book keep going instead of ending, what do you think would have happened next? Because right here, I'm going to read the last page to you one more time, and I want you to think about what would you make happen next if you were writing this story. Jack and his mother, the goose and the harp, lived very happily together, except for the time Jack went to town to buy a pig. But that is another story. So I wonder, can any of you write that next story? What's going to happen to Jack and his mother when Jack goes into town and buys a pig? Is it a magic pig, like how they were magic beans? I'm really curious about what you can come up with. So if you're up for the challenge, then get a writing journal, get some paper, and write what you think is going to happen next.